Last weekend, the latest film in the 28 franchise released into theaters. Now, if you can't tell, I'm sick. I meant to rank these 5 days ago, but today's Saturday. So, I'm not getting it out until a whole week after I saw the movie, just because I started a new job, really busy on Monday. Actually, I got the review out on Monday. I was really busy on Tuesday. Wednesday night, I came home sick. Thursday and Friday, I've been stuck to the couch. And today, I just now feel good enough to get my voice moving, to start moving around. And that's why this is happening. Also, I got several more reviews that I'm really behind on. I obviously got the F1 that I am actually watching tonight. Megan 2.0 that I'm going to go see later this week. Elio, I'm going to have a Pixar franchise tier list live stream later this week. Trying to get it all out, even though I've been sick. But today we are ranking the films in the 28 franchise. Before I get started, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell so you never miss another ranking. And with that said, comment down below what is your opinions on the 28 franchise. What's your ranking of all 3 films? And with that said, number 3, 28 weeks later. Now, with 28 days later, it's a story that has more to it than just a typical zombie movie. With 28 years later, it's a story that has more to it than a typical zombie movie. And that's because both those movies are written by Alex Garland, who I think is one of the best writers in Hollywood right now. This movie's not. This movie doesn't have any connection to Danny Boyle, to Alex Garland. And that's why it comes across as a typical zombie movie. And when it's a typical zombie movie, the whole third act, last 30 minutes, is a ton of fun. I mean, you have the scene where the helicopter's just mowing zombies down. All-timer fun sequence there. You have the ending sequence where they're inside the tunnels. Has a lot of intensity to it. You're on the edge of your seat. You have the gas sequence. Really intense sequences in this movie. The last 30 minutes I just had a great time with. When it's just a zombie action, I have a fun time with it. The first half of the movie feels like it's trying to be something else. It's trying to be something more than just a typical zombie movie, but you don't have that script. You don't have that flair from Alex Garland or Danny Boyle. So where it starts off with kind of like this family aspect, where that opening sequence is just phenomenal, best opening sequence of the franchise. But you also get that later on in the movie, where it's revealed that the wife is still alive. There's kind of a cure, and you're like, okay, that's interesting, you know? You got the wife, you got the husband. Husband left the wife to die. How's it going to relate to the family? That's interesting. What do we do with that? Now, yeah, the wife kisses the husband. She's infected, turns him into a zombie. And that's how you start the zombie apocalypse. And the whole thing is another thing about someone has a cure and you got to keep them alive that we've seen probably 1,000 times in different zombie movies. So this one you had potential to have a really good story, and it just kind of, like, how hard is it to just say some infected bit somebody, and that guy bit somebody, and you got the infection again. Instead, you go this long rabbit hole of what could be a potentially interesting story that just wasn't. So I left this one saying, like, yeah, that was fun. Had its fun moments. It's a 3-star movie. It doesn't have the same flair that Danny Boyle or Alex Garland brings to the rest of the films in this franchise. Number 2, 28 days later. Now, I don't know if this is a hot take. I don't know if people prefer 28 days or 28 years later more. Obviously, I prefer 28 years later. We'll talk about that in a minute. 28 days later is a really good movie. It's 3.5 stars for me. I really did enjoy this movie. Part of that is because you kind of have completely different aspects than just a normal zombie movie. For one part of it, it is these characters going on a cross-country trip where it's just kind of fun to hang out with these characters, see them getting along as a family. You know some of them are going to die, and you know when they die, it does hit you emotionally. And then you get to that third act, and instead of being a zombie movie, it kind of explores a kind of overdone aspect of, the men are worse than zombies, blah, blah, blah. We've seen that probably 1,000 times before, but I feel like it works. It still works. It's Alex Garland writing, so obviously it's incredibly smart. So it's something completely different than just the normal zombie stuff. Zombie action here doesn't really work for me, particularly just because it kind of has these jump cuts. You can't really see what's going on. The first time we see the zombies, I literally said out loud, what the hell just happened? I didn't know what happened. Kind of just the directing. And the thing is, a lot of people say that the editing style of this movie is great. I don't get that at all. Like, I really don't see any special flair from the editing or any design from that. I feel like that's probably the movie's biggest negative, but there are a couple intense sequences. The sequence where they're in the cave and they're changing the tire had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. Again, I really do like this family. I really like what they do with the third act. Cillian Murphy, great character in this movie. I love Cillian Murphy. So this one, really much better than 38 Weeks Later. I really did like this one because it had that flair from the Alex Garland script. But my number one, 28 Years Later. This is my favorite one of the franchise. And I get that a lot of people are a little mixed on it. Yeah, it's got like a 90-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. So critics are loving the movie. But I get it because the trailer was so different from what the movie actually was. What the trailer is, a dark, grisly zombie flick. What the movie is kind of like an emotional journey where the first half of the movie, or the first act of the movie, is that dark zombie flick. Then you get kind of like the dark themes with a little bit of emotional theme there. And then you go full emotions in the third act until the final 5 minutes where it goes full goofy, campy horror movie. And I just enjoyed every bit of it. It feels like a lived-in world. It feels like a world I want to be in more of the time. There is some great zombie action sequences in here. The alpha is absolutely packing. Oh, wait, no. Besides that, very cool, very creepy. Just some great kills in here when he rips their heads off and you see the spine. Absolutely awesome. You get an addition of a character halfway through the movie that's not in the movie for long, but he's a nice comedic placement inside this movie. The emotions with Ralph Fiennes' character near the third act of the film is really, really good. So just all these pieces from Alex Garland, Danny Boyle, that kind of make it feel like a lived-in world. And by the end of the movie, as soon as we get Jack O'Connell's character just popping out, I kind of said, yeah, I can't wait for the rest of these movies. This is probably my most anticipated trilogy to finish up in the next couple of years because it just left off at a point where I was like, that's awesome. Give me the next one now. So this movie, yeah, it's got some struggles in the script. Is it perfect? No, it's a 4-star film, but it is a really good movie, and I cannot wait to see what they do with this rest of this franchise. Thank you guys for clicking on this video. Stay tuned for my F1 review coming in the coming days. With that said, subscribe.